Aussie time. Living on Aussie time. Oh boy. Do. May have to remix me a song when I get my ass over there. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. And the title of the video was not to lying. We are living on Aussie time. In fact, it is about to go green flag racing over there. And there is a reason we are living on Aussie time. We got a smoking deal on I was sitting around here. Obviously, those who were live the other day, late into the mornings, on our last live that we actually had to edit some of it out. But, you know, we were a little upset with some things that has happened recently. Obviously, had a lot of changes occur and done a lot of stuff here recently as well. So, and obviously Christmas time's kind of sad for not necessarily sad, but is unfortunate for a guy like me who both my parents have been gone for plus 10 years. My dad died at 17. Kind of had a relationship here recently where I got back into normal family stuff, and then that went away little over a month ago. So it was just a little rough this Christmas day, and luckily some people down there at Knoxville actually wanted me to come on down. Shawn and Connie Allen actually got to go to their little gathering they had, and talking about Chili Bowl and Tulsa and shootout, and none of it. I was talking about maybe watching it on Flow. None of that stuff really does it for me. Little kiddie cars and kids overtake. I'm really, I'll give credit where credit's due, though. The people at Millbridge, whatever y'all been doing, y'all got some boys ready to hunt in these micros now in Tulsa. That's something that I wasn't used to seeing. You know, we're used to California boys, used to Oklahoma guys, Missouri guys, PA guys, Indiana-ish guys. And now you could say, if you're a micro fan, the North Carolina guys. I think you can say that. There's some strong cars actually in that field. But regardless, I just, you know, obviously we had our issue at Tulsa Shootout a couple years ago over the nepotism monarchy, standing up for other little boys and little girls who didn't have a last name named Bush, and we were punished and removed from the building for just voicing or giving those young boys and young girls who aren't rich and don't have a last name, giving them someone to say that ain't right. And we were punished in front of all those little boys and little girls and their parents that killed themselves day in and day out at their jobs that they do, that are a little bit harder than riding around a car every weekend and living in a mansion. So we were punished for standing up for those people. And I just don't think I'm ever going to go back into that building for that event. I did end up following up and going to the Chili Bowl. But I don't think I'm ever going to go back to that event. It has lost all of its respect for me. And that's because of the politics. The politics of the building. Not the politics of the world outside of it, but the politics of that building. And I'm sure there's some people experiencing that right now. I'm sure there was some starts tonight where, hey, you called that start back, but you didn't call this one? Why? And then you start looking at the names and you see who is who, and then you're like, oh. And it really screwed Ricky Thornton Jr. I mean, Ricky Thornton Jr. had a great initial start in his race tonight in the Winged Outlaw class, but they called it back. Was it right? Probably. Was it right? Probably. But then we see other starts, and you ask yourself why. And whoever is, I mean, I watched some stuff. I've been working all day. We're getting to the reason of that. But I saw some stuff today, or tonight, or this morning, or it's 3:50 a.m. right now, and I'll explain that as well very soon. But, you know, I'm sure there will be plenty of situations occur where people are watching how things get done there, and they look and they say, wow, that's why that guy got kicked out of the building right there. he was the only one willing to voice his opinion or say that that ain't right. And that's how you scare others into compliance. And now nobody will be in that building because everybody stood for what happens. If you keep showing up and supporting it, that's you are accepting that treatment. But regardless, I don't want to hate on the show. It's a great show. And a lot of the people up in there running stuff are great people. I mean, I got into the Chili Bowl after that occurred for a reason, right? Obviously, I wasn't banned from the building forever. They just didn't like what I did there. But regardless, once again, the example that was set was, you're okay, you're not. And then when you ask yourself why, and the person, once again, it's a circle. It's a circle, and it's an issue. But sitting here, not going to do shootout. Sticking, Chili Bowl, it's 20,000 to win. No one cares now. They barked back at Larson. The whole, once again, the politics. And now they upped it, but it's just, once again, too little too late for people to care, at least. And the Outlaws are experiencing that now. Welcome to the party. But, you know, I thought maybe Votto. And I was just sitting here. And I was like, you know, I don't really have the money to go to Australia, but that's the only idea that sounds like living right now. That sounds like something I could think about doing here coming up soon. That sounds something to do. Because it's kind of boring right now. I'm up here in Iowa. It's freezing ass cold. I mean, I go outside in it every day and sling what I sling. But, I mean, it was kind of the only idea was like, I ain't done that before. You know, Votto, late models, okay, but all the boys ain't going to be down there. When I say all the boys, I'm talking about everybody. It ain't going to be like a World 100. It ain't going to be a Gateway. You know, it ain't going to be anything like that. I just was at Gateway, and I've always wanted to go to Australia. So we got onto the Expedia.com, and we found us a damn flight round trip for $1,500. Now I got $1,700 in the bank at this time, and I'm like, fuck it. Went and filled out the ETA application, which you have to fill out to be granted into the nation of Australia. And it was, I was going to lay down. I tried to go to sleep after I filled that out, submitted it. I wasn't going to buy the plane ticket unless it got approved. Was laying there, tossed and turned for probably 4 or 5 hours. And at 5 a.m., it was accepted and I was granted my ETA. And then messaged a few people, Australia people that I know over there, like, hey, this is a potential. Should I come? Should I not come? And, yeah, it sounded like a good idea. And I took the bank account to $200, which kind of sucks because I have a couple months ago, it was a real good situation until we got into the sports card stuff. Jeez. Fair warning for everyone out there, if you ever hear somebody start talking about sports cards or anything like that and getting into an investment, you know, it's true, but it's not. It's not like you can't, or somebody says, treat it like stocks. Values go up and down. The big difference is when you buy stocks, you can instantly sell them. When you buy sports cards, that's not, you have to have a buyer. So but regardless, I said to hell with it and threw $1,500 out the window and hopefully can make some of it back. And am planning to arrive on Friday, January 12th and leave January 23rd. Now I'm being told right now that, and of course people know me for covering locals and regional drivers and really standing up for little guys. And just like the explanation I just gave you, basically in the same sense, I do not bend my knees to the power structure and kiss their dicks. But I'm being told that it would be somewhat advisatory to, if I want to know more, learn more, which I think everybody should be always trying to do, that I should stay an additional week um, after the Classic, which would be the weekend before the 23rd. So maybe do that, although to change the flight and to extend the rental car is $200 each, so $400 additional, and I still haven't got the rental car yet, although I do have some funds that should be coming in here very soon that will make that possible. And hey, if you want to join the support, up there at the top, I would suggest Venmo, PayPal. Don't do the super chats, but we got the Venmo, PayPal links in the description. If you want to jump on board for all this stuff and help extend that trip, or just contribute at all. I did kind of jump off the cliff here, or throw the bank account off the side of the cliff. If you want to become involved, links are in the description. Get your name up there. We added a few right before we went live here today. Of course, Sean and Connie Allen being a few of those, and the Aussie Archers. I should have already knew that I should be going. I should have listened to the signs everywhere. I should have known that I was needing to go to Australia, because I had to do a special order on the website here recently. So some people from Australia messaged me like probably 4 weeks ago and said, hey man, or it was a lady actually. Hey, my husband really likes your show, and every time we try to go order these items, it's not letting us. It's like it's declining to proceed transact the order. And I was like, what are you trying to get? And so I went in there, and the order they were trying to get was kind of mixed up, because they were from Australia, and it was from two different companies that were printing them and sending them, and actually two different transactions had to be made for it to happen. It was a hat and the shirt. So the hats and the shirts are separate items from two different providers of drop shipping services, which is what I use. I don't have physical merchandise. If I like this shirt I have, it ain't like I got them and just stacked them and picked one out to wear. I had to buy this myself. But I told her, well, what I could do is I can do the order, send this amount, here's how much it costs, and I'll send it to you. So that's what happened. That was probably maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So I should already knew that these signs were coming. But regardless, if you want to jump on board and help, this is go time. I mean, we're trying to build up. We just, like I said, we jumped off the cliff in this damn thing. I literally put down there on the ETA, I'm coming to backpack. And when I say $300 for a rental car, that'll be $300 to potentially have a rolling tent. Of course, those who have followed me in the United States knows that I had a rolling tent, or I still have it, 430,000 miles on the car outside. I had a rolling tent. That's basically how I utilized that car for about 3 years on the road consistently. Luckily, for some kind of shelter, I guess you would call it, how I view things, there is a person that we're going to be staying with in right there. He said he was 10 minutes from Avalon, which apparently is one of the big tracks to come visit. And I know I was just talking about the politics of Tulsa, and I have been fair warned by some very significant people in the sprint car racing industry of the politics that exist in Australia. Now, you may have your politics, but just like that building in Tulsa found out, if you pull some real shit in front of me, I don't care what your last name is, who you are, what you think you're all about. I come over there and you pull that shit, you might want to go find a Dundee or get a Stingray. Because I ain't stopping. I'm just, fair warning. I mean, the reason a guy like, I don't want to name drop, but the reason some of these big names in this sport like me is because I call a spade a spade. And just because a spade and a club is the same color, they are not the same. Sometimes the spade has to call the club out. And there's a big difference there. Because I'm the Joker. I make jokes. I sit here and, say it in a very satire way. But hey, the Joker trumps the deck. This is historic. This is not just me making this up. This is Babylon. The Jokers have free reign. It don't matter if you're the ace or the king. So, the politics, I'm not really worried about. I'm not really worried about the politics of Australia. The politics got to be worried about me. That's how I see it. But see, I'm responsible, technically, for all the politics that are over there right now. Because if it wasn't for the Americans and the American Revolutionary War, Australia might not have sprint car racing. Now, what am I saying about that? What do I mean by that? What do I mean? What am I actually saying here? Well, unfortunately, for some, we got this web page up. I don't know if some knew it or some didn't. But Australia is actually... sorry. Australia is actually... But on the real, I'm going to try to ignore all the politics. I think it's funny. But we're just going to keep going like we're in character now. Once again, this is a joking show. Once again, for those who don't know it, was Australia really founded as a penal colony? Prison colony. It's true, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. It's true. Australia was originally established as a penal colony. The British established their first exile colony in New South Wales in 1788. Previously, listen to this, the British were transporting the felons to the American continents. So we're all prisoners too. We're all part of the same bloodline. But we got sprint cars and they got those dumbass looking F1 stock car things. So the prisoners did it right. But after they were defeated in the American Revolutionary War, the government had to look elsewhere. The British sent numerous ships under Captain Philip Arthur to New South Wales to establish a penal colony. A camp was established in Australia and the Union Jack was raised on January 26, 1788 at Sydney Cove, Port Jackson, a day which is now celebrated as Australia Day. And see, this is very interesting, and we're going to get into that. There's a multiple meaning here. Other penal colonies were established in Queensland and Tasmania. Western Australia was founded as a free colony in 1829, but it began receiving convicts in 1850. The transportation of convicts to penal colonies stopped in 1868 as protests throughout the territory intensified. After being emancipated, ex-convicts stayed in Australia, with some becoming prominent individuals in society. Currently, more than 20% of the locals are descendants of the emancipist. Emancipist? Is that what this? Emancipist? So anyways, this was a very... Some people don't know this, that Australia is a penal colony. And it is a penal colony because America was originally a penal colony. And we were like, fuck you guys, and fought them and kicked their ass. So then they started sending all the bad guys to Australia. So Americans and Australians are basically the true outlaws. Sorry, Rico. I mean, I guess you were born here too and everything. So we're the world of outlaws. Maybe this is why. Maybe this is some type of real explanation. Now, funny about this picture here, this is Port Arthur. And what's funny about Port Arthur, obviously being named by the captain who originally sold the felons or convicted people to Australia. This is unfortunately, or fortunately for some people who want to learn, was the location of the Port Arthur massacre that happened in the Port Arthur massacre in 1996. It's a mass shooting that occurred on the 28th of April at Port Arthur, a tourist town in Australia's state of Tasmania. The perpetrator, Martin Bryant, killed 35 people and wounded 23 others, the deadliest massacre in modern Australian history. The attack led to fundamental changes in Australia's gun laws. So that is the picture here, and that is what happened at that site that led to the gun laws that Australia has now. Now, I think it's kind of funny, I get the whole Second Amendment stuff, but in a weird way, there should be like common sense. I think left-right politics are created kind of to eradicate common sense. I really believe that. I think that people or the social media and media in general promotes two extreme sides so that no real commonsensical side exists, and therefore nothing actually gets done that makes sense. Like, should mental ill people actually own guns? If you're hardcore right wing or all the way full-blooded Second Amendment, yes, you say okay. The left says no one should have this gun. No one should have that gun. No, so the extremes are mentally ill, yes, doesn't matter, no. Whereas common sense in the middle, the non-promoted side or ideology of the whole entire scenario is not promoted at all. There is no way to vote for common sense. You only have to be on one or other side of the idiocracy. But I think that's why it's promoted, because that retains the political class within a power structure. The super PACs, the military-industrial complex, these things that actually do control and run society can stay hidden, because I feel like if you got through these commonsensical topics that pretty much everyone agrees with, but we're all scared to speak, we're all feared, we're put into our houses a couple years ago and told not to talk to anybody, and then we are so visually attuned that we judge people based on what they may look like or where they're from or what car they have. So we won't even interact with somebody based on a visual appearance, and therefore we never get to talk and actually understand how different cultures or people feel or think. And the only people telling us what the other people think are one of those sides. So it's a great structure to keep power structures intact, to promote idiocracy or hypocrisy, which is really, both sides are full with that. But this is actually a very interesting spinoff that when I was looking this up, I was like, what's Port Arthur, huh? What is that? And then I'm like, oh, an actual reason to not let everyone have a gun just because you were born in a certain sector of a ball floating in a, who knows, maybe a test tube known as Earth. I'm not sure. It could be a dome. Really could be. I know I lost like 6 followers there. Don't care. I think it's hilarious. All of it's hilarious. This is not hilarious. This is very interesting. I'm not going to go into the full background. Y'all can look it up. Port Arthur Massacre. Which once again, Port Arthur is where, that's they stuck it in the ground and said, we landed on the moon. If you believe that. Let's see here. Do we got any YouTube chatters? Hold on. Let's see. Any YouTube chatters at this point? I don't think that believing in the Constitution is right wing. Weird how that is spun these days. Constitution. Well, did they really ever study you couldn't really operate back in those days without being mentally unstable, correct? I mean, could you imagine living in a day where there was no such thing as dentist? I mean, could you imagine the pains you experience, the things you go through? I'm literally just saying, like, there's some commonsensical things that you could do with that Second Amendment, like not restricting all Americans' rights. But if you're not like, okay, maybe you shouldn't have something that can kill people. Maybe. I think it was more so made for self-defense back in the day where there could be a need for self-defense on a daily basis. I mean, I'm just saying. Once again, I think that statement there, it's exactly the extremism that I'm talking about. Regardless, we'll get back to the web. I once again, just got to put some history in there, and the politics deal I think is hilarious. Now back to the schedule. So what are we gonna do here? That's the question. So we get there on the 12th at about 11:30 in the afternoon. And we are getting into a rental car and heading our ass straight to this Avalon. So this Avalon sprint car invitational that's happening should be very interesting to go check out. First day getting there. Second day, I've heard this is a 360 race, but I want to try to hit the tracks that I ain't ever been to. So that'll be Simpson Speedway on Saturday. Then you'll have a little bit of a break. There is another track in here, I believe. That's Simpson is... Oh, wait. Yeah. No. Maybe not. Borderline. Borderline is this track that is not on this schedule. But following that Saturday, Wednesday the 17th, is the President's Cup in Avalon. And it is, a pretty big show. So then you'll go 17th at Avalon, 18th will be Borderline, I believe. Yes, Borderline. Right here for the King's Sprint Car Challenge. Right here at this Borderline. You see it right there, January 18th at Borderline Speedway. And then, of course, rounding it all out is going to be the classic, they call it, the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, 19th, 20th, and 21st. I remember when I talked to Wade Onger about going to Australia, he said, this is the event. You got to go. It's the Knoxville Nationals of Australia. Okay, so that is the plan then. And then, like I said, 22nd, 23rd, had a little day's grace in there just in case there's somebody who wants to do a talk or I meet somebody who wants to show me something. And then I would be flying out the 23rd. The option to stay to this Australian sprint car title thing is on the board. But once again, back to the financial structure of the situation that would have to lean towards that to allow that to happen. So 10 days, 11 days total, if you count the Friday. That's a half day since I'll be there at noon and that time of day. So 10, 11 days in Australia is what we're looking at. And we're looking at racing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those 10, 11, or of the 11, 7 days of racing on the calendar. And this is all down there in Victorian area, the Victorian area. Victoria, something like that. I know that there was a Spice Girl named Victoria. I thought she was the hottest one, but then I grew up and started liking Triple D's. But regardless, this is what we got going on. This is the idea. And then tonight, actually playing right now, and this is why I'm up. I figure if we're going to go to Australia, we're doing all this stuff, we need to be on Australian time. I mean, living Australian. I'm just saying, we don't want to hit it, but we are. So, last night, when I made all these plans, when I booked all these tickets, I was up till about 7 a.m., 8 a.m. talking to this Australian dude. He's all pumping me up on what I need to do, where I need to go. And I was like, so what time is it over there right now? Because over the weekend, Christmas, I'd been sad, I'd been this and that, and I'd been staying up kind of late. And I was trying to, I couldn't really go to sleep. Just too many things on the mind, no peace of mind last month of time for me, really. And and it just so happened I did the Australian deal and was on the phone with him till 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, what time is it over there? And he's like, oh, it's about 11, 12 at night. I was like, so bedtime, basically, over there. He's like, yeah, about that. Okay. So basically, I am attempting to live on Aussie time before I go to Australia. So that is why I am awake. That is why I am watching or preparing to watch this. This is at Perth Motorplex, which I won't be visiting. I don't believe so. I mean, if somehow I get dragged over there, I don't know if you can be dragged. No, if you can be dragged, then you got to fly over there. But hey, I'm not against going and doing anything at all. I have everything ready to stay. It's just all about expenditure. But regardless, they have tonight the Boxing Night USA versus WA, and it's going to be very interesting. Rico is in the building. Here's some of the sprint car drivers that are on the docket to compete tonight, because there is somewhat of a speed week happening right now. I wish I would have got over there a little earlier, but hey, things happen for a reason. Brad Sweet, Rico, Brock Zierfoss, and Corey Eliason are there. So 3 high-limit drivers and 1 World of Outlaw driver. I wonder who's going to come out on top in that battle. Maybe Brock's good. Brock's a short track guy. You never know. But that is actually on Clay Per View tonight, or right here. I believe it's on right now. So Clay Per View, what a beautiful name, by the way. Clay Per View. Just really a great name. But this is pretty much their main streaming service in Australia. Let's see, on demand, where we got live. Watch now at Borderline. Looks like they got sprint cars going on. This is there it is right there. The Speed Week, the battle, USA versus WA, Zierfoss, Rico, Elias. And there's their late model cars. I believe they're called Super Saloons. I'm not sure on that, but I'm pretty sure. But this is actually on live right now. So if you go over to Clay Per View, you can actually watch now. Or we can start a free trial. Bro, tell me I could start a free trial? How long is this trial left? 3 days, bro. So if you go over there to Clay Per View, even if you're not watching, or if you're just catching this video the next day here in the Americas, because it is 4 in the morning here in the United States, be sure to keep up with what Clay Per View has to offer, because it looks like you can do a 3-day trial. So you can get 3 days in. I don't know if that's going to be, or if that would apply to the Classic. I don't think so. But they got a bunch of events coming. I mean, they got a lot of racing over there in Australia that is still to come. I mean, they got it all on here. This page is full of events. I mean, 4 wide, how many deep? So, yeah, and these are all dated. So, I mean, check that out. Once again, live right now. We're going to tune in. We're going to watch it and see what Perth's all about, watching it live. But anyway, we'll check the chat real quick. That's pretty much the update on the whole entire situation. Let's see here. Did Broke Joe help sponsor this trip? No, not $1, actually. Not $1. Broke Joe did not give me a penny. I worked for every penny I spent on this trip, whether that's on here talking or working out there myself, doing other jobs, whether that's logos or whatever. Hope to meet you, Chaz, when you drive my partner's car, Brett, up here in Queensland with your artwork on it. Exactly. There's how I make money. I just got through doing a deal with Brett, doing his design work for a new team logo and a number. Just did a website a couple weeks ago. That was some money. Like I said, slinging the Uber Eats every night. That is some money. Doing the YouTube and stuff. That's some money. Soda hat and some shirts. That's not a lot of money. That's a little money. The music is doing pretty damn good on Spotify. I'm getting some money there every month or so. So So yeah, multiple avenues. I'm not working for the man. I'm not slaving away and bending on my knees. I just sit here and say what I think. People like it. They think it's entertaining sometimes. I have to go through some stressful situations to do that in certain instances, but I guess it's what I am, like this call it like you see it kind of guy. And people like watching it, and they support the shows, and they sponsor the shows sometimes. But Broke Joe did not give $1 to this situation. Broke Joe hasn't given me $1 in, I don't know, especially ever since he got mad at me for joking / halfway trying to get him to explain his side on a certain situation. But regardless, so no, that did not happen. But we'll see if we meet Nicole when we get over there. Obviously, we only got 19 live viewers right now, but that's because of the time in the Americas. Maybe we'll have a lot more live viewers tomorrow. Once the Australian crowd kind of gets attuned. But I believe they're about to go racing, or the stream has already started, I do believe. So maybe we'll have to go a little earlier. But I just kind of wanted to get it out there on what we're doing and the flights and how we're doing it and what we're doing and the potentialities of other things we could end up doing. So it will be interesting. Like I said at the beginning of this deal, I literally threw the bank out the window. I said, fuck it. I said, I'd rather have a full life than a full bank. And it's here's the real big deal. It's an election year, buddy. It's an election year. So last time I was thinking of going to Australia, kind of had the money, kind of didn't, and I didn't go. And guess what happened? That freaking, it was an election year coming up, and the freaking shot came on out. The whole scenario around the COVID. And once that happened, I was like, okay, if I ever get that opportunity again to legitimately go, I can't just sit there and say, oh, I'll go next year, because life is never promised, bro. There's some crazy things happening in the world today. I mean, who knows when the aliens are going to land, or Jesus is going to come back and demons are going to be walking around out here. With how these people think that are going to war right now, that's what they want. They're praying for that shit. You know, they're hoping that happens very soon. A lot of these people are old. They're running the world. They see they've had so much power, and if they're going to go down, they're going to take you with them. Or some of these rich-ass people, they're just going to fly off into space with some personal aircrafts or whatever and just reset this bitch and then come back and play the next god or whatever. That's why they call it the Big Bang Theory, maybe. This has already happened, potentially. I mean, there's ways to look at what they're attempting to do. I mean, it is 2,000 years after Christ's death, right? That's a pretty monumental thing. And going on to 2024, we're at the end of 23, 223, 322. Do we do the numerology on that? I really don't want to. You could do the numerology on things, and it's the worst things, and you'll find everything bad in everything. Oh, God, it's all over. But anyways, that's about all I wanted to talk about. Giving everybody an update on what's happening. Shootout, why I'm not there. Chili Bowl, why I'm not there. I just want to do something new. Do something I haven't done. I have had a passport since 2019, and I haven't used it. And now it's time. It's time to use it. It's time to do something different. And if potentially, you know, people are, oh my God, how drunk are you going to get on the plane? I would be so scared to get on that plane and fly over the ocean. I'm like, listen here, sheeple. How many people die in a plane? How many people get eaten alive by a shark? Or stung by a stingray? You know, I was talking about the Steve Irwin deal. People make fun of that shit. Oh, that's what he got. Oh, that's what he deserves. Okay. So, what are you proud of when you die? Because the sheeple, most of them are gonna, I've already seen 2 sheeple die, and that's how my parents died, was with what everyone else is gonna die by, more than likely, some form of cancerous system that is going to eat your body from the inside out. and you're going to get cut here and sliced there, and people are going to come and circle you in some nursing home and send you off, and as you slowly die day by day. That's the normal way to go. Now, see, to me, that's the scary way to go. I would rather end my last breaths on Earth crashing into a plane into some water. Or, hell, worst case scenario, shark bites me and I die. Or snake gets you, or whatever, But, and yes, there are some other heinous things that cartels will do. There's some bad stuff. I'm not even going to mention what cartels will do with you and your wife and then kill one in front of the other. This is all crazy shit. But, I mean, all these genetic fears that y'all are having, like, y'all are scared of going that way? Y'all are scared of dying in an airplane. Y'all are scared of a shark. Y'all are scared of this. Y'all are scared of spiders. Why aren't you scared of that? Because I think when you are scared of that, that's what makes you do things that basically make you live a little more. And that's like I said, full bank or full life. Okay, so, and once again, I'm I guess in a weird way, I'm in a privileged position where I don't have any kids involved with my daily life. I don't have any more a girl to provide for and all this stuff. I don't have to give. And there's a lot of respect in that. So I guess I have to kind of be that guy. But systematics are real. So, I mean, it's a very interesting scenario. Those people talking about scared of this. And like I said, motherfucker got stabbed by a stingray in the oceans fucking doing something. I'd rather do that. I'd rather go that way than that other way that is almost a normalcy. Maybe y'all haven't thought about it. Maybe because I saw 2 parents die from cancer and stuff very slowly, very harshly, that I understand what it looks like and what it is. And I'd rather go that way. Or I'd rather not go that way. I'd rather find another way to go. So, flying a plane to Australia, I am sleeping like a baby. I am comfortable because if I go, okay, so, now you'll see me on the news. Tell them about the Chaz and sprint cars on the way out. Maybe that would be the best marketing thing. Let me see some comments before we get out of here. You have to pay for the event. Trial is only to join the website. Okay. So I'm off on the situation as far as the trial. You can't just get a trial and watch the race. This Michael Bulleman, Brady Baldwin with a hey, what's up? Jamie Belfory, treat it like crack. I don't know what that means. Chaz is heading to New Zealand. Papillion with Steve McQueen. Watch it, Chaz. Okay. Speedway is 100 years old in Australia. Sprint cars have been around since the mid-50s as super modifieds and changed in 1981 sprint cars when Johnny Anderson sprint car was brought out. Okay. So a little historian here. Okay. But anyways. So that's an update. I'm going to tune in to Clay Per View. Apparently there's like a 7+ where Australians can watch it for free. Like they are on television in Perth. Like if you lived in Perth, Australia, you would just turn on over-the-air television and be able to watch the race. Wow, they're so much farther ahead over there. Apparently there's some license thing I have to get into the pitting area because of insurance purposes. Smart idea. Wow, that makes sense. Now the promoters can't say, oh, you don't know how much the insurance costs, to excuse themselves for certain things that they may do. But if you want to support, go ahead, click the links. The PayPal Venmo is what's going to help. Super chats, memberships, those things take until the end of the month. Actually, I would be on the second or third day, somewhere in the 20s. Hell, I may be flying back on the plane before I see a super chat or a membership. So links in the description to join direct support. Get your name up on the screen. And we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff over there. We're not just going to be sitting here talking. In fact, talking, if we do it, it's going to be walking around the pitting area. It's going to be at tracks. It's going to be at scenic venues. If you have any kind of scenic venue or place to go that's really cool within the Melbourne area, somewhere in that vicinity, send me it. I don't care if it's dangerous, deadly, whatever. I'm not afraid of it. I would like to see it and experience it. We will have some cameras. We'll have some GoPros. More than likely, I'm sure Loose Video will make me want to put some cameras on some cars so he could put some GoPros from Australia on his Facebook page on Loose Video. So we'll probably have some GoPros with us. I do all my filming with my cell phone. Do we do a music video? I should bring the mic. I should bring the camera. But do we do a music video? I like this idea of living on Aussie time. I could make a song called Living on Aussie Time. I could play it on the guitar over here and get away with it. Like, I may have to do that. I may have to do that. All right, we got a few more chats in the comment section, looks like. Both Brent and I seriously appreciate and admire you. You go above and beyond in everything you do, and you do so bloody much. Well, thank you. Love your music, too. Your music. And we got a super chat. I love the $20 super chat. I'm not going to say I don't. But if you want to join the direct support, which Brett and them, they already are. We got the logo. If you want to join direct support, the links in the description for the PayPal and the Venmo is what's going to help and actually affect this trip. Brett, he's fine. There's no issues there. We got our own other deal. We already did the logo, did the work for him, so that's fine. A $20 super chat. Hey, lead by or follow him. If you got a super chat it. That's fine with me too. But as far as affecting this immediate situation, those other links are going to be way more effective. Regardless, Chaz meet up with Toby. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like he's a shill. No, that's not true. I bet the deal with Toby, he's not a shill, but he has to basically kind of, he is saying as much as he can without crossing the line. Back to the politics. But see, I'm not afraid of these lines. So I may be thrown into a crocodile tank or something, guys. This may happen to me. So I may come over there and something happens. I say something about it. Next thing you know, I'm driving home. And then all of a sudden, my brakes don't work or something. Like, I'm worried that the John Wicks are over there running sprint car racing or something. That's what I'm fearful or thinking of. You know, so I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure. Put some fuel in the rental. Won't get you far. I hear that y'all have no ethanol, though. That's why y'all's fuel is so much more expensive, is you have no ethanol. And that's, that's a pretty big reason as to why over here in the States that some fuel is cheaper, because they infused ethanol into the gas. Like right down the road right now, if I wanted gasoline, 87 unleaded, it would be, say, $2.64 gallon. But if I get the version that is no ethanol, it's like $3.40. So like almost 60 cents higher to get gasoline without corn-based fuel involved in it. But corn is a genetically modified, vegetable. So you can get a lot out of it, and they just grow it over and over and reproduce it, and it grows fast and it's quick, and that's what they care about. That is what they care about. Profit. Profit off of the lambs and the sheep. Kick the dog out of the building. Let the wolves run the show. Okay. We'll see. We'll see when we get over there. We'll see if it's as worse as that building down there in Tulsa. We'll see what those politics are like. We'll find out. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Once again, links in the description to join the support. If you want to be a member, go ahead, click it. I don't give a damn. Like it. Well, I don't give a damn as far as I don't give a damn if it doesn't get here till the next of the month. I don't care. I love my supporters. I love the people who enjoy what I do here. But be sure to like the video, comment, share it around. If you're from Australia and you see this, share it to all your little stupid Facebook groups. Tell them the Chaz is coming to slap some Aussie faces around, buddy. But I do hear there's some hotties over there. I do hear there is some hottie Aussies. And I am recently single now, so it's fair game. So I'm coming. No, I can't say that. Hide your daughters. Hide your wives. The Chaz is coming. Oh God, they keep on into the YouTube chat. When are you going? I am leaving January 10th, and I will arrive January 14th or 12th. 12th. Maybe 14th. There's a delay if we crash into the water and they got to come rescue us, which we kind of already predicted that. So if it happens, I mean, honestly, if I did get into a plane crash on the way into the ocean and I survived it, could you imagine the publicity that we'll get for sprint car racing when they interview me and they're like, what were you going to do? Are you okay? How did you survive? I was just going to watch some sprint car racing. Y'all ain't heard about this thing called sprint? I'll just go into the whole schlift. I'll just start bashing NASCAR, all that crap. I'll just talk about, you never heard of this thing? I mean, come on now. That would actually, I'm not saying I want to crash in the airplane in the ocean. I do want to survive if I do. If my lower half is not, gone, I don't want to be like in a wheelchair or something, or done forever or something like that, or broken arm. Well, I don't mind broken arm or something. I've had that before, but like something real bad, like paralyzed, freaking penile disconnection or something. As long as it's not that, I'm honestly not too far against like going down the ocean. Hey man, if I'm surviving, let's go. And being rescued and then interviewing with the world about this sprint car thing. That would be awesome. That would be great. I can't believe I just said that, but it'd be a hell of a ride on the way down. If you're surviving and you walk away, let's just say, okay, the only thing I would like if it happens and I walk away, no one else is hurt. I don't want nobody else to die or anything. We walk away, I'm down for that ride. I really am down for that ride because that would be a pretty badass ride. I don't think you could go to Disneyland and find that shit. Nicole says we do have cheaper fuel. We do have the cheaper fuel that has that shit, but our decent cars will not run on it. Also, they double tax us here on fuel. True, Aussies are true blue mates, and you should be safe. Oh my. True blue Democrats. That's what I heard. Y'all have changed the whole state over there. Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. True blue Democrat. Through and through. Mm-mm-mm. That's why I won't let retards have guns. Oh my. Actual retardation. Don't get offended. Chaz should get an Aussie wife. Oh my. I don't know, boy. I mean, I know when they did that movie, Crocodile Dundee, he pulled out that big old long knife on the American girl. I mean, I'm gonna stop talking. It's getting too late at night. It's getting too late at night. It's getting too late at night because I was about to lie really bad. I'm trying to find like a big magic marker because that's about all I'm rolling with over here on this plan. Have you ever seen your middle finger get hit by a hammer? That's about it right there, buddy. But anyway, I should do a live during the day. I shouldn't alienate the American audience. But I need to watch these Australian races. And I if I'm going to get over there, I'm going to hit the ground running. I can't get over there and be tired. I got to somewhat be on their sleep schedule to be like functional, I believe. That's what I'm thinking. And honestly, since I got back from California, I haven't felt the same. Like my sleep schedule's been off so bad, and I think that's why they say it's easier for West Coast guys to go to Australia, because when you do go to Australia, you don't have to necessarily adjust your sleep schedule as much. So maybe that kind of helped me not kind of fully weaning off of the California sleep schedule. And then, like I said, having a pretty tumultuous December, staying up with a lot of things on the mind late into the night. And then, like I said, up till 5 a.m., couldn't go to sleep. And then it all just kicked off. And, you know, if I could stay on a schedule that's like going to sleep at 5, 6 o'clock every day here in the States and waking up at 11 or 12, I got too much shit to do to just stay asleep all the time. But I mean, I could do it overnight, obviously, but, and I am, but I think getting onto that schedule before I arrive is very quintessential in being able to hit the floor, you know, technically running. That's what I think, because that's what I have to do. You know, it's 7 races in 11 days. I can't lollygag around and try to adjust my sleep the first hour or first 3 days or something like that. That's a short trip in Australia, therefore you need your energy. Right. Correct. That's what I'm thinking. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get out of here. It is just past the hour mark on the video. Stay tuned. I think we are going to try to have this live thing every 3 a.m. Central here in the Americas. Maybe closer to 3:30, but 3 a.m. Central should be good, because I think I went a little too late because the race has already started. But maybe 3 a.m. Central Standard Time, which would be 4 a.m. on the East Coast, and that would be 1 a.m. See what I'm talking about? 1 a.m. all the way over there in California. So see, if you could adjust in California time, you'd have a big advantage over everyone else. Like the video, once again, like the video, comment below, join the memberships if you would like. PayPal and Venmo links in the description. We are living on Aussie time, literally, right now. I don't know if you could tell. I'm kind of like, oh, should I go to sleep? I should. But time to get adjusted. We're heading out. We're sailing across the 7 seas on top of a bird. I know it makes no sense. It's because it's magic. Planes aren't real. Planes aren't real. No, I'm just playing. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.
We can ride high, we can ride low, we can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show.